Hey, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by listening to The Fight Within the Fight. I'm your host, Rockefeller Brown. If you would, go ahead and hit that like and that subscribe button, and we're going to go ahead and get into this. Now, today, my guest today is Miss Ellie Williams. How are we doing today?
Wonderful.
Man, so like we always do, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So, man, being born, where do we start everything from? Where were we born? Where we grew up at? How did we get this thing started?
Chicago is where I was born.
Chi-town. Okay.
My dad's family is all from there.
Okay.
But I didn't grow up there. I kind of grew up everywhere. Military brat, Navy.
Those types. Go, everywhere. Hoorah. Nah, keep going.
That part. But, and that's, I will say, for all of, I was never actively in the military, but I was 13 years old before I lived off base. So I just have to say to everyone out there that that is a very traumatic experience, just like it is when you go into the service. When we go back to civilian life off the base, that is very, very traumatic. Very traumatic.
And you know what what a lot of people like to say, not people, but military people, that the dependents, they have their little part that, yeah, they're in also. Because they go through the dependents, they go through a little things also. They go through a little, when we're not there, they have to go through that. They have to feel that, mom, dad's not there, kids missing. So don't just look at it like, no, I'm not a part of it. Yeah, you're still a part of it. You know what I mean?
I will attest that your children are extremely involved in it.
Yes, always.
Not just part of it. That is our whole life until it was a shock.
Yeah, you really don't get it sometimes unless you're part of that. Do you really feel that? You know what I mean?
Yes. And when I was 13 and was no longer on base, we went from National Parachute Test Range in El Centro, California, which is the winter home of the Blue Angels. So it was actually the coolest place I could have been at 10 years old. But when we got out of the military and when we moved to Arkansas.
Right. My bad. Just because you brought up the Blue Angels, it's always cool because I was in school when they were what's this down? Man, I can't think of it. Down in Florida, Pensacola. So I'm down in Pensacola at NES Pensacola, and they was always there practicing. So almost every day we got to see them.
Pensacola's their summer home.
Doing the practice. So yeah, so bringing them up. I just thought about that since you brought them up, though.
Imagine being 10 years old.
Yeah.
And they are in your backyard.
Yeah, every day.
Every day. The winter was every day, all day long in the wintertime. And it's not like it rained or we had nice foggy weather. No, it was freaking hot. Didn't matter what time of the year. It was clear. It never freaking rained and it was hot.
Them Jeps, that's what they want. Them they like to fly. Hey, if it's good weather, let's get on to it. They trying to get in the air, you know what I mean? But
that was actually the first time I realized that I was a really cool kid.
Oh man, that's cool. The Blue Angels, man. Mm-hmm. Hey, big shouts out to the Blue Angels, man. Yeah. So that was where at?
El Centro, California,
And
National Parachute Test Range. It's a Navy base in the middle of the freaking desert.
and about how old were you at that, during that time?
I was 10 when we moved there, and I had turned 13 right after we moved to Arkansas.
But man, so how was it like in high school? How was it like? So was you one of the ones that had to run through the peer pressure, the good cool, the bad cools, the what, the so what was it like high school was like, man?
Horrifying. I didn't know. I
Supposed
did
to be
not
fun.
know. I did not know how to act as a civilian. I had no freaking idea how I was supposed to act because I would say that military kids are sheltered in some sense, and we have so much life experience in other senses. But when you take that and you just remove it completely, we don't even get a going away present or nothing. We're just like, you're here, and then, oh, honey, we're moving. Pack your shit.
I mean, for the people that don't understand that part of it, is that when you live on base, especially you're dependent, and you're not living at one of the places where the high school or the schools, because sometimes the elementary school, the same thing, middle school. Sometimes some bases have school on base, and then sometimes you have to go out and base on outside of base for your school. So now, if your school is on base, oh, it's really, really sheltered because it's only military kids. So you're inside, everything's all cool. But if you're at one of those places where you have to go out in town for your school, then it started to open up a little bit. So you're not that shelter up under. They're gone a little bit when you get out there to those civilians, because they're gonna get you to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. That's what she's talking about at that. For that juncture,
And
that sometimes on base is a little sheltered, but when you get out there, then it open up a little bit. You know what I mean? So then you pass high school.
I graduated.
So you pass
With
high
honors.
school. You pass high school.
Yep.
And where did you land after that?
I didn't. I graduated in.
Not still in Arkansas. Tell me you're not still in Arkansas.
I graduated in 1985 from Arkansas.
Oh, you're still in Arkansas.
Yeah.
What happened after Arkansas?
I actually did not move away from Arkansas. I moved to Georgia from Arkansas, and
Oh man,
it
am I saying that correctly? Arkansas.
No.
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. My bad, y'all. All right, keep going. Keep going.
You know, you
Keep rocking. Keep rocking. Keep rocking. You went where at after?
Georgia. I
after
moved.
Arkansas.
I moved to Georgia, but not until 1996. So
All right,
I was.
so we're
I
in
was
Georgia
in
now.
Arkansas for like 18 years,
All right.
and I went to college. But I only did a year of that. I worked a year at a funeral home. I was the funeral director's secretary.
Interesting.
And it was me and the funeral director on our side of the building. The other side, the office side of the building, was we had insurance. We sold like burial insurance, stuff like that.
Yes.
But I was separate from them. So even after I get out of high school, I was still I still didn't have no freaking friends.
Oh man. I mean, who wants to work around in the funeral home? So I can see no friends coming there.
Yeah,
I can get that.
No.
Oh, man. So what happened after that?
It was a family-owned business. My boss was an old guy, but he was wealthy and stingy with his money, and told me I needed to go find me a job where I could make a bunch of money because he saw I had potential.
Okay.
And he told me that, you know, his kids were getting the business after him, that I pretty much had, you know, gotten as far as I was going to get with him. And the ladies on the other side, they actually like did the paperwork. They filed everything. So they saw how much everybody made. So he didn't want to pay me more money because they would see that I was making more money.
So what did that send you? What did that
That
send you
sent
to?
me to electrical wholesale, and I pretty much rocked that bad boy until retirement.
Oh, okay. So like what he was saying, you had the potential,
Mm-hmm.
but you had to get to a place where you can really
Yeah.
shine there, right?
He said the opportunities were not available at his place.
And you was able to do it there at the electrical place.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So how was that for you?
That was actually pretty cool. We were just a bunch of goofballs. I mean, it was a really big company, but it was just a bunch of goofy people. It was just a bunch of goofy people. Like
Okay.
we had one lady that was by the time it got really fun working there, I was 3 years in, and I was working in the computer department. So we actually had our headquarters there for accounts payable, accounts receivable. The president, vice president, CFO, CEO, everybody was in that office.
Okay.
But on the back side was actual one of our branch locations. So it was kind of in the same building, but not really.
Okay.
You know, but it was so cool because, like, the CFO, she was a lady, and
She was a
she
lady.
was she was a big girl, and she used to go home and walk her dog at lunch every day.
Okay. Sound like something good. Good exercise. Yeah.
And one day she got stung by a bee and came to the office after lunch and told us that she was stung by a bee. So when she got to the office the next morning, we had decorated her office in little fuzzy bumblebees.
Oh, okay. That was nice.
And we made her a hat with some bee netting and little bees, glued on there. But it was a hat, and she could pull the netting down and tighten it up underneath her chin. So, and we presented her with that.
Some thoughtful.
Yes,
That's what it sounds like
Well,
to me.
and-
It doesn't sound like funny. That sounds like something that was nice.
No, we did all kinds of stuff like that. But while I was working there in our computer department in that office, I bought my very first brand new car. Not my first car, my very first brand new one, and I was so proud. And it was it was a 1990 Ford Pinto. No, not a Pinto. They didn't. A Ford Fiesta. Fiesta. The Pinto was the 1980 something that I had. That was my first car.
We had to start from somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say it was brand new, and it had 4 new tires on it, and it was mechanically sound and had a warranty. So I didn't really give a damn about nothing else. Didn't have air conditioning. It did have an AM, FM radio. But that bad boy had new tires.
Ah, man. Okay. Well, it seemed like was at a good spot there.
And that's how I learned how to drive a stick shift.
So that's where we learned to drive the stick. Yeah, a lot of people can't do that though, huh? You know what I mean?
Cheapest car out there. That car payment was $199. And my insurance was $31.
So it was the insurance there that took you to the hospital, not the hospital, but to the medical conditioning.
No, that didn't show up until Georgia.
But you're in Georgia already.
Right. But
Yeah.
when I got the new car.
You're in Georgia. Don't forget about what you're talking about. You went to Georgia now. You told me you was at Georgia.
Yeah, I was talking about my new car, though, driving the stick. That was over there. So, but no. All right, so we're in Georgia.
We're in Georgia now.
No, we're in Georgia now. I'm awake.
I wanted to something in that water. I did not spike it. I didn't do anything to
but
the
I
water. You know what I mean?
Don't worry.
Y'all listen. You listening, right? Yeah, we're in Georgia now. We're not back over there. She's still trying to put us back in Arkansas.
No, we don't want to go back to
But
Arkansas.
we're
in Georgia in 1996.
in the electrical place. That's where we're working
Right.
at now.
Right.
All right. We caught up now.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
all right, all right.
So actually, when I moved to Georgia, I moved to Columbus, and I was working at a wholesale distributor up in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay, we're at the electrical spot.
Right.
All right, all right.
So I left there in Columbus, and I took a job in Macon
Okay,
at another electrical distributor,
all right.
and I worked for them for like 5 years, and then I got another job when I worked. That's when I came to Perry,
Okay.
and I came to Perry in 2004. But it was just from I lived in Warner Robins the whole time, but I was working in Macon, and then I moved to a job in Perry.
Got you, got you.
So that's like this episode of my life starts in Perry in 2004.
So how was it? How did it come around that you ended up finding about the Menieres? Is that how to say it? Menieres.
Many years.
How did that come around?
That was also pure hell, like high school.
Okay.
It was it was it was just wild. The ringing in the ears is the first thing that started, but God, I've had that for probably 10 years at this point.
I mean, how did you go to the hospital? Would something happen?
No,
Was
I
there a
was
certain event that triggered you to go to the hospital to get tested to end up finding about it? How did that come around?
I was leaving work one evening and driving home, and about the time I got on the interstate, the world started spinning, and I couldn't. It took me 45 minutes to get home that day, and it was terrifying. And by the time I got home, it was even worse.
I don't understand the Menieres. It messes with your balance. It bothers with your balance. It makes you dizzy sometimes, nauseated, things like that. So while she was driving back home, it started bothering with her while she's trying to drive.
And I'd never had vertigo before. This was the first time I'd ever experienced it. But just as I merged into traffic, 5:30, 5 o'clock traffic, trying to go home on the interstate, and that was it. It just hit me, and I was married at the time. So when I finally got home, he was like, "You should have said something. You should have called." I'm just like.
Since it just hit me in the middle while I'm driving, you should have called, right?
It was, I got off the interstate, went on the back road, and drove like 30 miles an hour the rest of the way home. I mean, it was very, very scary. And but I get home and I asked him to go get me something for vertigo. That they make seasick medicine, and he's like, "Well, I already had a couple drinks." So me and my spinning ass drove to Walmart and got me. I got the wristbands. I got I think it was the wristbands, and then like 3 different kinds of like Dramamine and Bonine, and there was another one too.
So man, just imagine this right here. I know some people in the military would understand this right here. We play this game like this. But if you ever played the spinning around the baseball, you put your head on the forehead and you run around about 10 times, and then you have to run to tag the next person. So now just imagine you spin around there, or you stand and spin, whatever it takes for that you spin and you get dizzy.
Trying to drive.
So now to get like that, and then not just walking those 10 or 15 feet, but driving. So that's a little bit for what she's talking about when some of these things started bothering with her. Some of the vertigo started going. Once this Meniere started bothering, Menieres, did I say it right this time? When it started bothering with you and that vertigo hit, that's what it's like. Like you just straightly, you make yourself drunk, dizzy, and now you're trying to drive. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean the ones about that drunk. Yeah, I know some of you out there are thinking, I did that when I be drunk. Yeah, we ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about that right there. Shouldn't be doing that anyway. But just imagine that dizzy and you still have to drive. So I mean,
And I had to drive to Walmart, and I drove home, and I took all the meds. I tried the little wristbands, and nothing helped whatsoever. So I pretty much just chummed the toilet all night long, and I had to go to work the next morning because my boss was out of town, and I was the one and only employee at that point. So I didn't have a choice, but I did have some good customers because they came in and I just told them, get whatever the hell you want and write it down.
yeah, man,
I wasn't going to be able to do nothing.
that's crazy because after my motorcycle accident, there was a day it hit me also. Every time I stand up, I get that dizzy like that. And I didn't want to drive. I didn't want to ride to the hospital. Forget drive. I didn't want to ride. That was worse for me.
Yeah.
And you drove, man. The ride to the hospital had me going crazy. And you drove. Yeah, that's a little rough right there. But it's good. Big up for the customers that came here.
Yeah,
They came in. They helped you out a little bit, doing what they need to do, not trying to take advantage of you.
because I was
You know what
I was
mean?
truly
That's
laying in
big
the
ups.
floor.
Yeah, that's big ups right there. Doing the right thing. While you're coming in, not trying to take advantage for someone that can do that was not able to do the thing that they were supposed to do at that time. It's good that they did the things that they were supposed to do.
Well,
That was big helps.
my superpower is remembering stuff,
Everybody.
not important stuff, but
Who getting my money?
no. My superpower was I could tell you if you ask me for electrical wholesalers, we sold electrical supplies mostly for electricians.
Right.
That's, wire and anything you need to build a house and a few extras. And but they would come in and say, hey, I need receptacles and switches and boxes and blah blah blah, and I would be writing stuff down, and I would tell them it's on this shelf. It's on this shelf. Look for this part number on this shelf.
Got you. I got you. I got you.
Because they were telling me what they needed, but they didn't. I wasn't going to get up and go get it.
Right.
So it's like I'll write all this stuff down, but you got to go get it.
God, man.
But
yes.
it was cool. I had some really awesome customers at that time.
That's good to hear. You don't hear that a lot these days, So that's good to hear that, man. So it was around about that time that,
Was
sooner or later it happened that your physical conditioning came around. So how did your physical conditioning and the Menieres run into each other?
By the time I was officially diagnosed with Meniere's, it was around my birthday. It was in June of 2012. I just turned 45. Happy freaking birthday to me.
Okay.
And yeah, it was really bad at first. They sent me for. I had to go to a neurologist. I had to go get a brain scan. They had to rule out. The most common things are brain tumor or multiple sclerosis. Those are the two things that there's quite a few others, but those are the two major things that they have to rule out before, because there's no test for Meniere's. It's a diagnosis by omission, because they gotta get rule out all the other probable causes, and then the symptoms of Meniere's are vertigo is normally the first one that you get, but it was actually my last one.
Okay.
So my first symptom was tendonitis, and I have that 2 billion cicada crap we're gonna get in the summertime. Ain't got shit on my tendonitis.
In the country, that bug that you hear at nighttime that nobody know what the world it is, that's that noise.
That's a cicada.
That's what she's talking about. That noise, all What is that? What is that? Just imagine hearing that in the ears all the time. That noise.
Yes, and so the tinnitus was the first symptom. My second one was hearing loss. Funny story. Funny story. This is exactly how I found out that I was going deaf in one ear. I came home from work and told my then husband, "Hey, dude, I need you to change the speaker in my car." I said, "The speaker is broken." And every time I got in my car and I turned up the speaker past, like, if it was anything higher than like 6 on the dial, then all I heard was broken speaker static in my ear.
Right, right.
And and actually it was this ear, which is now my good ear, and I'm actually lost all my hearing in the other ear. But this started out as my bad ear. But that's he came in the car and he drove it and told me that there was nothing wrong with the speakers in my car. I need to take my ass to the hearing doctor.
It wasn't wrong with the speaker in the car. Wrong was it's the malfunction of the opposite of the speakers in the ears, right? That's where it's at, huh?
Yeah, but that's the hearing loss is another symptom, and the nausea is just a side effect of all the fun symptoms. So that's not necessarily the disease doesn't cause the nausea. The feeling of being out of balance all the time is what causes the nausea.
Got you. Okay.
It's hard to explain. And then there's what else? What else? There's so much to it. The vertigo and the tinnitus and the hearing loss. That's the biggest fun part of it right there. Yeah, and the great news is it's not it's not fatal. That's the good news. The bad news is the bad news is tinnitus is a function of the brain and not the ear. So as I'm losing my hearing, the tinnitus is just getting louder and louder and louder. It never goes away.
Ah, man. Life, huh? It keep on rolling. It keep on rolling. So how did that how did that match into your fitness though? How did that run into each other?
I was really struggling. If you turn the bedroom light off and try and walk across the room, I will fall down or run into something. Pretty much guaranteed.
Okay. Balance killing you, huh?
Yeah, I have no balance. All my sense of balance is learned, which came from fitness. I had to strengthen my core. I had to get my shit together. I had to figure out how in the hell to live with this, because it's the best way I can describe it is it's like walking on marshmallows every day. Sometimes it feels like the floor is falling out from underneath me. Sometimes it's visual too, and it smells too. I forgot about that one. But like I'm in the car, and like if I pull into a parking spot and I'm pulling in, and then the car next to me starts pulling out, that would freak me out and probably make me want to throw up if it didn't already make me throw up, because I'm just not expecting that car to be moving and not in that direction.
Right. Okay.
And that right there, my head's like, we don't know what to do with this information, so we're just going to like give up.
Right. So that triggers something, huh?
Yeah, it does. It's I'd like to say it's fight or flight reflex, but it is like a fight or flight reflex, because it's the same kind of I still get my heart starts racing, and you just get hyper focused, and it's just but that first year was so difficult. It was like I had to learn how to breathe again. I had to learn how to live again. It was, driving was, and every day I was finding something new that would trigger it. A new smell. I'd stop and put gas in my car, and the smell of the gasoline would just like that would be the roof. That would be the end of my day right there. And I would probably have to just sit in my car with the air blowing in my face in that spot by the gas tank for 20 or 30 minutes before I could actually go anywhere, before I could drive again.
That
And
suck a little bit because you have to stop and get gas, and you know that yeah, man, that's a rough one right there.
and I don't know how many times I went to the grocery store and yeah, he had to go do the shopping because I just ended up back in the car. I couldn't do it. And oh, he wanted me to go. So yeah, but mirrors in the drugstores. That's horrifying. I mean, there's just so many things. Hand sanitizer is like
Man, so just imagine, that you have something that hit you out of nowhere, and you literally have to change almost everything that you're doing for your life because now there's a lot of new things that's triggering these adverse things that's going on in your head, going on in your eardrums. You see things going the wrong way. You hear the wrong thing. You feel the wrong thing. You smell the wrong thing. All these things are happening, and it's triggering this nausea, triggering this dizziness. And you have to change everything
yeah.
because it's coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what she had to go through. You know what I mean? Just it came out of nowhere, and now all these things are happening from everywhere, and you have to make something happen. You have to make something happen because they about to keep going, right? So,
And there's a new sheriff in town.
yes, and God dang it, I'm not the one that's in charge for this. But the thing is, you have to do something to be in charge.
Yes.
Something have to happen that can keep so that you can keep control with something. Something is gonna bother with you, and those some things that you cannot do nothing about it. But you have to do something to get going with it. So with that, how did the fitness starter come in? To start helping you out with this.
My ear doctor told me that something that would help would be to get my, I told him I had to get my shit together, and I literally, those are the words I said. And he said, well, you gotta, your body doesn't have any balance now, and that's why you're just so freaked out all the time. And he said, you gotta start with you. And he says, start with core. And he told me to get one of those big balls and gave me a handful of exercises and even sent me a couple recommendations for like therapy things. But the therapist, they went in a totally different direction. But so, and I got the big ball, and I was doing all the exercises, and I had looked up more exercises, and I would fall off that fucking ball every damn time.
I mean, can you really imagine that? I've never done anything have to do with physical fitness, and someone just give me some pictures, some ideas, and go and do this. Yeah, that helped a lot. Yeah, that's a big, okay, doc. Just give me all this stuff that I have no idea what it is, and I'm going to be okay. Yeah, how does that work?
Not at all.
Come on, man.
and like I said, I couldn't even stay on the ball to do the exercises.
I mean, balance gone, and you on this, bowling ball on bowling ball or something crazy like that. How do you get balance like that? I mean, come on, man.
It was awful. So for my birthday, my 46th birthday, I joined a gym and paid for a personal trainer because I had never once, ever been even inside a gym before.
That's what a doctor should have been doing. He should have been paying for that.
But I had no, I've never. I mean, the last time I exercised was when I was riding my bicycle when I was a kid. I mean, that was, I stayed. I was very active. My job was busy, so it wasn't that I was sedentary or sat at my desk all day long. I was doing and going and always doing something. But yeah, so
So now the car crash. Here we go. We had
damn,
a crash.
I forgot about that.
A crash into fitness. So with the first personal training that you have, how did that start to work out?
It was a difficult. He had to do a little reading and research to try and help me out, because not being familiar with fitness in any way, shape, or form, I lacked any ideas. I had no input. I all I could tell him was like, and we did this at least once or twice. All right, do this right here. And he would just give me a position, or like let me try a machine just to see what my body's going to do. Can you do this? That's when I found out I had to keep my feet on the floor. Because when I put my knees up on that and it was like a pull-up thing.
Yeah.
Like a chin-up bar, but you do it, it's like
raised.
assisted, and you do it from your knees. And that was, I damn near fell off and like could have broke something.
So that don't work.
No.
What about a treadmill? Did that work?
No.
What about a bike?
Actually, I could do a bike.
Okay, a bike worked.
The only problem with the bikes was that they had that row of TVs above the bikes.
Oh yeah, but a bike worked.
Yeah, I can't do that.
What about the elliptical?
No, God, no.
So can you imagine what I'm talking about now? So now we're trying to get somewhere for fitness, but because of what's going on, a lot of those don't work also. You know what I mean? So that's when everything end up turning into a lot of body stuff.
Mm-hmm. We, Millwood, we did a lot of body weight exercises. We did a lot of dumbbells and stuff like that.
Okay.
He started jogging with me, which that's how I quit smoking, and that was a godsend too.
Quit smoking. Hey, that's a good one right there.
That was, I had to change everything.
Running make you stop quitting. Make you stop smoking. Either you're going to smoke or it's going to be rough.
Yeah, it was, but it was, you're going to be pissed off anyway, so might as well run. And then at least when you do run, at least you feel better when you're done. So it gives you a little bit of that fix like you get from a cigarette. So, and that was, and I had quit smoking easy half a dozen times in my life. But I always did it because somebody else thought I should, or because somebody else didn't really care for it, or they didn't like it if I smoked around them. But this time I did it because my life sucked, and I was having to just. We did a full on dump, and started from scratch.
Hey, that's always the best way to do something, because you want it to. When it's internal, it's always making it a whole lot easier that way. A little bit more motivation to get it taken care of. You know what I mean? But my bad. Just a big ups to the ones out there that can run their asses off and can still smoke. I don't see how y'all do it, man. I don't know how they do it. I don't know, but yeah, just I'm not saying it's good for smoking cigarettes, but the ones that do that, yeah, all right. But she stopped smoking, though.
I did.
And that was a very good thing for her. All right.
Absolutely no problem not smoking. I never picked up another. I smoked my last cigarette that morning, and when I met Millwood at lunch, he asked me for my cigarettes and my lighter, and then he kept my lighter.
What he was doing with that, huh?
But I don't know why, but I remember that he kept my. And he stayed in his pocket. But
oh man!
And then he's like, "Run," And I was like, what the fuck? I can't run. And he's like, run. And I was like, I can't run. He's like, you got to run. So it's like, I made it like 3 blocks maybe.
Yeah.
No, I made it like a block and a half, and then I walked back. I think it was the next day I made it 3 blocks.
Hey, you have to start from somewhere.
But until I was able to run for 10 minutes, we ran every day. And once I was able to do 10 minutes of running, then we would just do the 10-minute warm-up, and that was what I did, so I didn't have to do the bicycle or the treadmill.
Had to have something for that. Had to do some cardio in there somewhere.
Yep.
And that was all right. And it doesn't matter that you have to run but a block and a half. You had to start somewhere. That's one of the biggest things I like to try to tell people. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't want to come there. Hey, no, it don't matter. I don't care if you walk. If you make it 10 feet. You have to start somewhere. Start from somewhere. Just get started. And I bet you're going to get better with it. Man. So you and Millwood, get everything rocking and rolling. Get it going. Get the running going.
He was a great running partner as far as motivation goes.
He used to love to run back then. Yes.
And it was like, but it was awesome because, like I said, I was pissed off at the whole world, and that it truly does give you an outlet. You wouldn't think so, but it really is a great outlet. And then because if the more pissed off you are, the harder you're gonna run.
Hey, they just try to get me out there to run, but coach don't run. No, I don't do that right there. I have ran another enough miles in the core that I was not there running no more. So but it was fun for you. So that worked out.
Comparatively speaking, it was something I could do, which was. There was a whole bunch of days that I just cried when I'd go home in the evenings because of all the, I'd have a whole hour at the gym and I wouldn't be able to, I got freaking sick. The first exercise I touched made me sick, and I laid on the floor for 45 minutes. So, and I just get so defeated.
You just had to start from somewhere.
But that,
you have to start.
Yeah, but it was a whole year of just everything.
Yes, but it graduated to what?
Boxing.
Hey, so she was finally able to run. Couldn't mess around with those machines, but
yeah,
eventually you was able to do dumbbells. Mm-hmm. You was able to do some weights. Was able to do exercises, even the crazy stuff, the people that we don't like, the burpees and everything, right? But
did that shit too.
You was able to get them, and you was able to run. How far?
Oh, I have a picture of the first time
How
I ran.
far were you able to run?
Oh, a mile.
So you pick it up now, that 1.5 block turn into a mile, huh?
Yeah.
So we start from somewhere. You're gonna get somewhere. You know what I mean? So now we run a mile. If I remember, I thought you was running like 2 or 3 miles some of the times.
It was because once I hit a mile, Millwood didn't say, okay, we'll do another half mile. No, he's like, all right, shit, you can do a mile. He said, if you can do a mile, we're gonna do a 5K.
Millwood.
but and he did, and we ran the Ronald McDonald one.
Okay.
In Macon.
So a mile, a block and a half, end up turning to a 5K. Mm-hmm. You're gonna start from somewhere. You're gonna get somewhere if you get started. So big ups. So that 5K. So I guess that what helped turn into that doggone mud run. Huh?
Yup, that 7K mud run.
If I can run that far.
Yep.
So I can do some exercises, some
obstacles,
some obstacles and everything with the run. We're gonna put everything together with it.
Yep.
Right?
But like I said, Millwood was an awesome motivator.
Yes, he was.
And he would get out there and he would do some of the work with you. So if it was burpees, he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But if it was running, he would.
I wish he wouldn't have got hurt so he could have been to that mud run. Yeah,
I don't think he would
yeah.
have liked it like you did. I don't
Yeah,
think he would have saw it as a challenge so
Marine
much
Corps.
as it.
The Marine Corps mind came out before for that 2-3 hours for a minute. Other than that, uh, but we did have fun though. We did have
I
fun.
did. It was.
Yes.
I was so freaking proud until I got to the rope. I was so freaking proud of myself.
Keep telling that mud that rope
Yeah, and
that
and
rope was a big challenge because it was muddy. You know what I mean? People have problem with a regular rope. That joker was muddy, so
and no knots on
totally
it.
understand. Totally understand. Yes, that part was crazy to me, man. I was surprised them to have that. I was surprised that they didn't have knots on it because how slick the regular one was. But hey, I guess that was their challenge too. You know what I mean? But we still have fun. Though we have fun to that bad boy.
I said, I can't believe I did that. Like, woohoo! Very proud of myself. And that was in March. So we did. I quit smoking in September 10th.
Right?
I quit smoking September 10th that year,
Okay.
2013. And my first 5K was in November, and that mud run was in March. So from September 10th to like the middle of March, I went from running a half
Block and a half?
block and a half to 7 miles in the mud with obstacles. Not 7 miles. It was 7K. It was 5 miles.
That was good to go. Good to go. Man. So, man, after the mud, what came after the mud?
Boxing.
The boxing.
That's when it really got fun.
And that was another obstacle within himself because now with all the triggers that you have, so now you have another trigger when you get in front of those mitts and the person in front of you because now you just imagine that things go the wrong way and things like this is moving differently than your mind think that it's supposed to be moving. So now all of a sudden you got this and you got this happening and you got this happening and this happening and you got
And that's a whole bunch of unexpected movements.
another one. And oh man. But the funny thing for me, and that was for my thing to challenge her, was that when we first started doing the hand mitts, it was, hey, the symbol on your shirt. It doesn't work. It makes me dizzy. You got to take off the shirt. But you know, I'm at work. I'm at the gym. It's at my gym, and I have on
Your logo.
my gym shirt, and she telling me how to take off my shirt. I'm like, this is my uniform. I can't disrobe from my uniform. And I'm like, nah. You're gonna have to find some focus, and you have to focus on this. Hey, I tell you, you focus on that symbol, and
it doesn't move.
Follow it.
Yep.
But I'm not taking off my shirt.
That was perfect.
It worked out.
It worked. It worked for so many other things. I was actually able to go to a restaurant after you taught me the focus technique. It was just Cracker Barrel, but I went to Cracker Barrel once, about 9 months after I got diagnosed. My family was here, and we all went to Cracker Barrel.
Okay.
And I ended up staring at an empty plate the whole entire evening because my mom talks with her hands, and so does my brother and his wife and all their freaking kids. The whole damn family, we talk with our hands, and that was a no-go.
But I got me a center. I got me a...
Yep, but now, and actually what it was is if I would ask them to sit me where I was in front of the fireplace.
Focus.
because I could focus on the fireplace and look past everybody and still be part of the meal, part of part of yeah. I was part of the group again instead of just sitting there staring at my plate, trying not to barf at everybody.
It worked out. You know what I mean?
It,
Boxing is not just for boxing, huh? You
no,
can put it out there for other things, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was just, and that was my aha moment with boxing, and I was in love then because it's like I'm still trying to learn how to live my life, and it's still kind of sucking. I still have to spend days, maybe not every week anymore, but I still have to spend a day here and a day there just laying on the floor because I did something and it's like, nope, you can't do that. And but to defeat one of my nopes, to get past it, and for me to find another use for it too, was just motivating.
Nice.
That just put it into a higher gear to want to, because up until that point I wasn't in it for the weight loss or none of that crap. I did not give a damn that I was fat. Did not give a damn that I was fat because I quit smoking and everything was good, so didn't care. All I cared about was making improvements. If I could just go grocery shopping next weekend, that would be really nice.
And what happened for life? For life, what does always happen? Right when things start to rolling good, something always happened. And I remember being at the gym, and next thing you know, we hear, man, what happened to the black?
I wrecked my car. I so thought they were going to take away my driver's license when I had that wreck.
Yes, that one had her scared.
That
Yeah.
was I've never actually been involved in a car wreck before. That was the first time ever, and I was going 70 miles an hour down I-75, and there was a semi in front of me, and he just all of a sudden went over to the next lane, and all I saw were tail lights, and I was already, that man was stopped dead. Well, that woman was stopped dead in the road, and I was going 70 miles an hour. The tire marks weren't even 5 feet. I mean, it's
Yeah, it was bad. It was.
it was real bad, and
She
it was
sent me pictures of it, and it was. I had to click out of it because I got the pictures, and my idea when I first saw the picture, my mom was like, "Oh man, she's in trouble. She don't hurt herself. She hurt herself real bad." When I looked at those pictures, but then my mind clicked like, "Wait a minute." She sent me the picture, so she couldn't be that bad because she sent me the pics. Like, okay, so she's good, but that car was jacked up, though, man. That was a
life-changing event.
that was, I want to say lucky. There's another word that I want to say.
And God.
Yeah, because man, yeah, that car was messed up, and that was.
And I did not have a scratch on me. I had bruises. I had those. That's my crucifix mark. The. But I got and it rubbed all the skin off, and it was bruised, and it's scarred up for a little bit.
A blessing.
Yeah, it took a hard 2-3 years for those marks to go away, but I don't want another car anymore because I don't know how, but my whole windshield was the hood of my car was sandwiched, and it
Gone.
poked all these holes in my windshield, and my windshield was just, my head could have fit through some of those holes. I had glass in my hair.
Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a bad looking one.
Yeah,
You know,
the EMTs kept coming back, and the firemen too kept coming over. Are you sure you're okay? Let me come check you out just in case. But it's like, and I was sopping wet because I had just left the gym, so they thought something else, And it's like, nah, that's just sweat. I'm okay. I'm okay.
oh
But
man,
yeah,
that was
that
a
was
blessing. That was a blessing because that was a
yes,
scary looking car. You know what I mean? So it was a blessing that she made it through that. And if you want to think of something good about that, not only that she lived for it, is the next car she got was better than that one.
yeah,
It looked better, man. Now she got a fire red. Now it's
yes,
really, oh man, that looked better than the first one that you had. All
yeah.
right, so we can't,
Penelope's.
so we can't do the same. You just got to keep this one straight, right? Yes, that was. But we made it through that. We made it through that
Yep,
one. We made it
yep.
through that,
Got a
and
divorce.
we continued. Got a divorce and kept boxing,
Yep.
and they kept hitting because you ended up start hitting ladies in the face, huh?
I know. Oh my word, that's so much fun.
How much fun was that? I was just about to. I was about to ask. About to ask that.
There's just the only thing I can say is close your eyes and imagine hitting. Well, I'm a girl, so if you're not a girl, don't do this. But close your eyes and imagine that you get to hit some chick in her face as hard as you can.
Imagine that,
Imagine that,
because some of them want to. Imagine that.
and nobody calls the cops, and you get prizes.
Hey, that's a fight right there. The fight that we want to be a part of, right?
Hell yeah!
So man, this the boxing was fun. You know, the coaching and the competing. A lot of travel that goes with it. How much fun did you have with that?
Oh my word, that was like if you think after high school, or after college, you want to do some traveling abroad or something like, take a year off to travel. Shh. I took 4 years off and we traveled, but that's what it was like. It was like, even though I was working and I was busy and time was short and days were long sometimes, and it was very hard work, but it was just freaking awesome. It was like being on damn vacation. It was like, and it's like, and we get to tote people let us take their kids.
Hey, teens. Yeah, we had some teens.
I know, but
on the teens on the boxing team
you're
that travel so that they can compete USA boxing. So
I did
was
not
cool.
mean that in a bad way, because you're a very good role model.
No,
and you're a very responsible person.
I'm just making sure that they know that we wasn't just taking kids, but we were taking teams
No, I was like,
on with USA Boxing to compete. That's what we were doing. Y'all got it right. All right.
but it's like, but these kids, you get to teach them so much stuff, and then they teach you crap, and it just takes you by surprise, because you think they're just stupid little kids, but they're not.
Yeah, but after being in the gym with them, then you know how good at it. Especially the kids that was around us. There was always some good within them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they propped each other up, and
Yes.
it was like, no matter how badass he thought he was when he was in school, or even if he was that day in school, but it when you're on the team, you're on the team, and it's like you're brothers in arms forever.
Always.
And boxing is like any of those kids. You can say anything when they see me. They go, "Oh, Coach Ellie." I love that word, coach.
Yes, I mean when you're in the gym and you're training your ass off, and what you're going through, you look to your left and you look to your right,
And they're doing
and
it.
that other one is there with you, and now you're going to compete. So yeah, you build that bond for that work that you're putting in, and yes, that team grew, and there was a strong team. We had a lot of good fun during that time.
And the sentiments never go away.
Never.
It's like these kids are just as good as being my kids, and I think they all know that.
Oh yes, and they're all still around, and they still contact us, and oh yes, they'll be there forever, forever, forever. They will
Yeah.
be there. You know
Can't
what I
wait. One
mean?
of these days we'll be grand coaches.
Maybe, maybe. So man, so do you like pets? Pets. Y'all hear me, right? There's some phaser messing with me again. Pets. Do you like pets?
Dogs.
So now you be a dog lover. So did you have your own dog?
I've had a bunch of dogs my whole life.
Were you one of the ones that used to like to pick up the ones from outside the road and things like that?
Dumpster dogs. I
couldn't
would
do
go
it.
diving for dumpster dogs all
Couldn't
the
do
time.
it. I like dogs, but it has to be mine. That's it. But I couldn't do that right there.
No, I would see them in the middle of the road. There was one time I was going home from work, in Warner Robins, right where the roundabout is now,
Yes.
right there, and there were two husky dogs just playing their asses off in the middle of the road, and it was like 5:20. And it's like, man, they're gonna. So I just pulled over on the side of the road, and I had a SUV, and I opened up the trunk, and I was like, "Come on, boys, let's go!" And they just hopped right on in. So I shut the back and looked on their tags, and thank God those little nasty things, because they had been playing in the mud. They were wet and dirty, but
That's what dogs do, huh?
yeah. But their number was on the collar, and I called them, and they told me where they lived, and I dropped them off at home, and that was it.
Easy there. That's all right then.
So, but yeah, normally I have to take them home with me, but that time I actually got to take them where they were supposed to go.
Hey, people doing the right thing, so make it easy to get them back, huh?
Yeah.
So now you just imagine having, that type of love for an animal, and an animal turns all the love back at you the wrong way.
Ooh-wee.
How was that?
Terrifying. That's the most terrified I've ever been in my whole entire life.
Yes. So what I am mentioning is, she was walking her dog and went to a certain area and was attacked by a dog. Elaborate that for me.
I was walking Smokey, my little 25-pound short dog. I was walking him in the neighborhood, and a dog jumped out of the bushes. I never even saw it coming. Didn't even hear it coming. That's my deaf ear. I didn't hear it coming. I didn't see it coming. Smokey perked up, but at the same time, it was all at the same time. Everything happened at once, And yeah, he tore my ass up. But I saved Smokey's butt. He's grateful now.
Yeah, man. So, man, can you imagine that? You love an animal like that, and then one of those animals is the ones that attack to you.
Whew.
So now you used to have this love for these animals, but now what you're feeling around them now? I know you still love them, but
I know it's I've never been so tortured, but I absolutely love dogs, but now I'm afraid of them. So, like when I go to the vet and stuff, if somebody's there with the friendly dog, I'll ask them first and make sure that yes, they're friendly. So, but mostly the best thing I've done is animal control. They call me every now and then and let me know when they've got a sweet dog that's a big dog in there that and when I go to animal control, I like it more because she stays in there with me. And she was the same person. I mean, when she came to the incident when the dog attack was happening, right. she actually, cops were there first.
Okay.
And then animal control, and since the cops were taking care of the dog, she sat down and she took care of me.
Good to go.
You know, I
Nice.
had the folks in the neighborhood tending to my wounds, and she just put her arms around me and was telling me everything's gonna be okay and was rocking me. It was kind of cool, actually.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's good to go. And yes, man. I mean, being a dog lover and having a dog attack you like that, and that's
It's hard.
that's crazy. You know,
The
another blessing to come through that. You know what I mean?
Yes,
And
the worst part is that they let people bring their big ass effing dogs into the damn stores and everywhere else, and they're not service dogs.
ah, man, yeah, I hate that, but yeah, if it's a service dog, then I know they're gonna act what they're supposed to.
Yeah,
But I've
they're
been in there
trained,
too
but-
many times. I've been in a store, and when a dog trying to sniff and follow me, yeah, he's not. He's a pet. That's not a service dog, and I'd be ready to kick that joke in his mouth or something. I really hate that right there. That's crazy.
Oh.
Bringing pets in and a service dog, two totally different things, you know. But and I can imagine, you know, having gone through something like that and being in a store somewhere and a dog start to sniffing or something like that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna, boy, if I didn't have the right thing or something, it's never tough of what's about to happen now. Now we about to something else gonna click in, and somebody may not be going home. But to me, that's just crazy though. You know what I mean? Because you never know what's going on with everyone that's out there. So I know there's a lot of people out there that have, like, you know, I know like a service people, they have the PTSD dogs. So, you know, cool, I can understand that or whatnot. But just, you know, old dude, old mom that just have their pet and want to take their pet to the dog on just because the dogs, I mean, they let these dogs and everything coming in now, but you have somebody that went through something like that, and now they have the big dog going 50, 60, 70, 80-pound dog that's walking in, and now we in the store. You know, that's pretty messed up. You know, I don't know why they won't really reevaluate that, but
Yeah,
but service dog, I'm totally cool with that because I know they're going to be right. Service dogs, they're good. They're trained very well, and they're not trying to follow people or anything like that. They're going to do what they're supposed to do. So I'm down for the service dog. Those other ones though, I don't really like that.
well, the service dogs are at work, so
Yes, but people still bring just a regular dog up in
yeah,
there.
the regular dogs, you know what's the regular dogs from the service dogs.
Yes, yes.
You know, and you can tell by the way the people that have them act.
Like that, man. But
But
man,
I've screamed in stores. I've went and hid behind people that work there. I've had to do that a couple of times.
man, should have.
I bring that with
That's
me
what
if
you need to zip one day
Yep.
get right. You know, don't listen to me. Don't listen.
no.
My mind is a different state sometimes, you know. But hey, protect yourself, protect the body, protect myself. You know, so have to get to them if you have to, if you need to it. You know. But man, that was something else to hear right there.
Yeah, that was it took so long to heal, and it was such a gruesome wound. And I had trouble looking at it. I couldn't change the bandages on it for a while. I never could look at it. It was just gross.
But everything healed up and everything. So you can do all your walking that you need to do. Your arms healed.
Yeah, my toes work. I didn't lose my foot.
Everything's good. So you didn't get to eat one.
Yeah,
So you're straight, right?
yeah. I didn't lose any bodily functions. The only thing I lost was some feeling in my right foot. And I had to wait for a year before I could give blood again. That kind of pissed me off.
Love giving the blood.
But it
That's all
was
right.
because of the dog bite. in my arm where I normally gave blood. That was
Right.
why they wouldn't let me give blood, because they didn't want to stick me through a scar.
That got you. Got you.
So it's like that's bullshit. So I made them give me a date, and then I made them stick to it.
Dig that. Nothing wrong with that. So, man, it's good to hear that it worked out. Man, that's
Some days are easier than others.
good to hear. Good to hear. So, man, I mean, you have to understand everything that goes on. You know, there's always a start. There's always somewhere that you're trying to get to, and there's always a way to help you get through everything that you're going through. You know what I mean? So even through the Menieres, the unbalance, the vertigo, you know, you had to find a way to get through it. You had to find a way to get around it. You know what I mean? From the dog, the PTSD after the dog fight, the dog attack. Have to way to get through that. You know, some people don't think that it is, but you know, and a trauma like that, yeah, that PTSD was set in because of going through something like that. And
Oh,
next
yeah.
thing you know, you're fighting the PTSD. And if you never have anything like that, the thought about it, the thinking about it, the dreams about it, it comes around and it bothers with you. It bothers with you. It's not good on the mind. So that is a real deal thing that people try to get through. You know what I mean?
And I will say, you know, everybody dreams. Some people remember all of them. Some people remember whatever. But since this happened, and even when I wrecked my car, I had nightmares about that. But that was actually more towards I actually hit that truck, and that truck hit another van, and pushed that van into oncoming traffic. So there was and it was all women. Wish that on nobody, and but nobody was hurt, and it's like all I was doing was praying. I didn't kill nobody. Please God, don't let me kill nobody, you know. But nobody was hurt. Nobody was tended to by the EMTs. Not one person. And then the dog thing. It's just those nightmares are the most realistic nightmares I've ever had. And every single time I have a nightmare about the dog attack, it wakes me up, and I'm actually getting up out of bed, and you know, I've never been terrified to the point that I'm not frozen during a dream before, but with these, it ain't like a regular dream. It ain't like that, and my heart is racing, and I'm, you know, I see that dog's face coming, that big ass mouth coming towards my face with his mouth open, and you know, they don't want to see it, but you know what it looked like, and it was just horrifying, and it was life changing, and
Yes, I can understand it. You know, I haven't been attacked by a dog, but you know, was in a pretty bad motorcycle accident, and yes, those dreams are real, and the thoughts are always coming back, hearing things, seeing things that it triggered things back. You know, in those dreams, yes, when they hit in, I'm be trying to wake up, because, like I say, PTSD is real.
it is
And
for real.
the biggest thing about PTSD is that the ones that's in the service that go to war, they're not the only ones that get PTSD, and just going to war is not the only way to get the PTSD. So, any traumatic accident that you go through, then you have a chance to end up getting that. So, yes, it's not just those. There's other things that can cause that. You know what I mean? So, man, it was a very great conversation today.
Thank you. I would like to add one more thing. I would like to say that
Save round.
I am I am actively seeing a therapist, and I have been for over a year now, and I highly recommend it. The first three times I was there, I did not want to be there. I did not know what I was going to say. It was just awkward and it was uncomfortable. And I was just so ready to get the hell out of there after 10 minutes, and I had to stay the whole hour. It was just bad, bad. But by the fourth visit, I could not wait to go see her. Things that I've been telling myself, I'm kind of bouncing off of her, and the feedback I get is positive versus some of the crap that I give myself. I don't know if you know we're always harder on ourselves than we are other people, but whatever you do, whether you talk to friends, exercise, that is boxing, that's a great one, but whatever you do, don't don't hesitate. If you it was hard to tell somebody the words that I needed to see a therapist, but my doctor was super cool about it.
But the best thing about going to a therapist is that you don't have to know what to say. That's what they're for. They know what to say. They know how to get things started. So the only thing you need to do is go to them. So don't worry about what to say. They got you.
They do.
That's to get paid for. You know what I mean? So I mean, do understand when we have these, like I say all the time, hey, it's not your story, it's my story. And my story is not your story. So some people have a worse case. Some people case is not as bad. But no matter how bad you think it is, how easy you think it is, how hard you think it is, you don't know what that person is going through. So, hey, we had a day today. We had a good day. And like I love to, what I like to try to tell people is the same thing. Find somebody that you can talk to. Find that therapist. Find something that you can do to release your mind, release your heart, to find something that's going to help you out no matter what it is. That's whatever it is that you're going through. They're trying to figure yourself out. Because there are people out there that cares. Yes. And we all care. But you have to help yourself out and look for that assistance. You know what I mean?
Gotta love yourself.
So once again, very good day.
Thanks.
So once again, another day, another great conversation at the Fight Within the Fight. And once again, I'm your boy, Rockefeller Brown, and find somebody to talk to if you need to. Find something to help you out. If you go through anything, find out something. Somebody can help you. Somebody care. All right. So we're on to the next round. And once again, we're here at the Red Corner. And we'll see you next time on the next one.